The world did not settle. The hole in the sky, that jagged, beautiful wound in the smog of Oak Haven, was not a sign of peace. It was a flare, a beacon lit in the middle of a dark ocean, calling out to everything that had been waiting in the depths. Kalen sat atop the Titan, the silver chassis vibrating with a newfound frequency. At 10% synchronization, the world was no longer a collection of objects. It was a symphony of intentions. He could feel the panic of the Veil commanders in the high-rises. He could feel the relief of the thousands of civilians breathing the first clean air of their lives. But mostly, he felt the arrivals. The 3 streaks of white gold fire that had punched through the atmosphere were not weapons. They were keys. Dust. Kelen's voice was steady, filtered through the resonance of the bike. The signatures. They're moving, they are not moving. Kalen, the ancient voice replied, sounding more present, more corporeal than before. They are tuning. They are seeking the frequency of the one who broke the sky. They are seeking you. Kalen looked toward the north. A pillar of frost was rising over the industrial district, freezing the smog into glittering black crystals. To the south, the ground was turning into a sea of molten glass, a heat signature so intense it was melting the Veil's surveillance drones before they could get within a mile. And to the west, silence, a void in the lattice so absolute it felt like a bruise on Kelen's mind. Kalen. Alara's voice broke through the coms, but it was different now, clearer, riding the wave of the white gold starlight. The Veil is retreating from Sector 4, but they're not giving up. I'm seeing massive energy movements on the long-range scanners. They're bringing in the Sovereign-class carriers. They're too late, Kalen said, his amber eyes tracking a movement on the horizon. The game has changed. Alara, the Veil isn't the biggest thing in the sky anymore. Kalen leaned forward, the silver plates of the Titan shifting into a defensive stance. He's here. From the shadows of a collapsed skyscraper, a figure emerged. It wasn't a bike. It wasn't a giant. It was a rider, encased in armor that looked like it had been woven from frozen starlight and obsidian glass. The armor was sleek, far more advanced than Kelen's raw shifting silver. It pulsed with a cold blue light. Behind the rider stood a machine, a quadrupedal Titan that looked like a panther made of liquid nitrogen and chrome. The rider didn't speak through a radio. The voice resonated through the lattice, hitting Kelen's brain with the force of a tidal wave. So, the stranger said, the voice sounding like ice cracking on a deep lake. The scavenger of Sector 4, the one who woke the Sentinel. You looked small. Kalen didn't flinch. He revved the Titan's engine, the amber glow of his core clashing against the blue frost of the stranger. I'm big enough to break the tower, Kalen replied. Who are you, and why are you standing in my way? The stranger tilted his head. The Panther Titan let out a low, ultrasonic growl that shattered the windows of the nearby buildings. I am Selim, the rider said, and this is Frostwalker. We are the eyes of the Northern Archive. We were sent to see if the one who triggered the awakening was a sovereign, or just a mistake. A mistake. Kelen's aura flared. The silver veins in his arms began to hum. The Veil was killing this city. I stopped them. If that makes me a mistake, then I'm the best one this planet has ever seen. Selim stepped forward, and the ground beneath his boots turned to permafrost. Breaking a tower is child's play. Kalen Vance. Holding the world together while the precursors wake up. That is the task of a king. And looking at your sync rate, you were barely a prince. Dust, Kalen whispered internally. Can we take him? His sync is higher, Kalen, Dust warned. I sense a depth in his archive that we have not yet unlocked. He is a legacy host. His line has been waiting for this moment for generations. But he is arrogant. He thinks the metal is a tool. He does not know it is a soul. Kalen gripped the handles. I don't care about legacies. I care about the people breathing that air up there. He didn't wait for Selim to move. Kalen used the new skill. He didn't just drive on the street. He commanded the street to move. The cracked asphalt rose in a wave, propelling the silver bike forward with double the momentum. Selim didn't move a muscle. The Panther Titan Frostwalker vanished in a blur of blue light. Kalen felt a massive impact against his side. He was thrown off his trajectory, the silver bike skidding across the ice-covered road. Frostwalker had intercepted him mid-dash, its claws leaving glowing blue gashes in the Titan's silver armor. Sync rate dropping. Dust hissed 9.2%. The frost is dampening the resonance. Kalen stabilized the bike, his breathing coming in short, sharp bursts. He looked at the gashes on the bike. They were already closing, the silver liquid knitting itself back together, but the blue light remained, eating away at the amber glow. You're fast, Kalen said, his voice dropping to a resonant growl. But you're cold. You fight like a machine, Selim. Selim laughed, a sound devoid of warmth. I fight like a sovereign. Emotion is a glitch, Kalen. It's what makes organics weak. Is that what you think? Kalen closed his eyes. He didn't look at Selim, he looked at the lattice beneath the ice. He felt the heat of the city, the fires still burning in the foundry, the warmth of the thousands of people waking up, the raw energy of the Earth's core. He reached out. Then let's see how you handle a glitch. Kalen didn't use the Titan's weapons, he used the city. He tapped into the underground thermal vents, the old steam pipes the Veil had used to power the sector. The ice shattered, the frost vaporized. Selim was momentarily blinded by the fog. Kalen didn't hesitate. He launched the Titan into the air, the silver bike transforming mid-flight into a jagged aerodynamic wedge. Kalen slammed into Selim, the weight of the Titan amplified by the kinetic energy of the steam blast. They tumbled through the glass storefront of an old department store. crashing through shelves of ancient electronics and rusted metal. They came to a stop in the center of the building. Kalon stood over Selim, his hand glowing with amber fire. The silver lance extended. Sync rate. Kellen's voice was a low hum. 11.5%. Selim lay on the ground, his blue armor cracked, his visor flickering. He looked up at Kalon, and for the first time there was something other than arrogance in his eyes. It was curiosity. You used the environment, Selim whispered. You didn't fight with the sequence. You fought with the world. The world is a sequence, Kalon said, his amber eyes fading back to brown. That's what you don't get. We're not pilots, Selim. We're part of the lattice. Kalon turned. Two more figures stood in the street. One was a woman encased in gold and crimson armor, standing next to a titan that looked like a bird of prey made of molten bronze. The other was a shadow of void in the light, standing next to a titan that seemed to be made of smoke and mirrors. The woman in gold spoke, her voice like a ringing bell. Enough, Selim. The scavenger has proven his point. Selim stood up, his armor repairing itself with a hiss of blue steam. He bowed his head slightly. He is unconventional. Sola. Sola stepped forward, her golden visor reflecting the amber hole in the sky. She looked at Kalon and he felt a warmth wash over him, not the burning heat of the veil, but the gentle warmth of a summer sun. Kalon Vance, she said. I am Sola of the Southern Archive, and this is Nyx of the Western Void. The shadow figure nodded, a silent movement that sent chills down Kellen's spine. We did not come to kill you, Sola continued. We came to see if the rumors were true. The sentinel told us a fracture had appeared, a bridge between the organic and the ancient. Kalon looked at the three of them, the blue, the gold, and the shadow. And now that you've seen me, Sola looked up at the sky. The starlight was fading as the sun began to rise, but the hole remained. Now, she said, her voice turning grave, we prepare. The veil was just the beginning, Kalon. The precursors who arrived last night. They are the judges, and they have already decided that this world is too noisy. The first judge has awakened in the north. Nyx's voice finally spoke, a whisper that sounded like 1,000 snakes. It is moving toward the capital. It will erase everything in its path to cleanse the lattice. Kalon looked at dust. The silver bike was pulsing with a rhythmic, urgent light. Then we stop it, Kalon said. Selim looked at him, a grim smile appearing on his face. You think we are an army scavenger? No, Kalon said, mounting the titan. I think we're the only thing left that can fight back. Sola raised her hand, and the bronze bird titan let out a piercing cry. Then ride, fracture bearer. The north is waiting. The gathering is complete. The hunt has turned into a war.